Hi, I'm Hallie. I've been living out of my van as a nomad for the past almost 4 years, but I was raised in Los Angeles at the base of the Santa Monica Mountains.
Hallie liked outdoors from the very beginning. We took her out, you know, in the baby Bjorn stroller from the very beginning. If you want to go back, we can go back to New Jersey when she was just in a stroller.
Yeah.
We're going to take her out to a place called Jockey Hollow, which is a historical, place from the American Revolution. One day I just decided, like, hey, we're going to leave the sandbox and I'm going to take you up hiking. And so I took it. There were just these little deer trails, that went in and out of the chaparral and stuff. And and she just loved it. She wanted more and more of that. Every time we went, she wanted to go on the nature hikes.
Yeah.
I think our favorite memories are Vasquez Rocks, right?
Yeah. We would frequent Vasquez Rocks. All the time we would go there.
Yeah.
And she loved that.
So Vasquez Rocks is a park, out near Lancaster, and it's been in many movies. It's been in Star Trek, just a famous film location. But it's also a really interesting terrain for hiking, and especially great for kids because it's got these huge rock formations. And I'd been going out there since I was a little toddler and stuff. So she loved that. So, just like the, hiking here in the local hills off Serena, that was the next step. So that was always like, just, hey, do we have some place to go? Let's go to Vasquez Rocks.
Yeah, on the weekend, go
yeah.
climbing. She'd climb the rocks.
Yeah, have a little lunch, go climb some rocks. Probably why she likes rock climbing so much.
My entire life, I've been an environmental activist. I don't know why I studied writing instead of sustainability or something, because I was 8 years old running lemonade stands to save the polar bears. Like that has always been who I am. I've always been passionate about the earth and about nature, and seeing how people are treating this place, seeing the trash up in the trail above my parents' house, seeing the people who are violating trail restrictions that are there for a reason because it's maybe a wildfire restoration area, seeing those things happening and not really seeing anybody try to learn more about how they can protect this wild space that they're in really pushed me to educate people, because we're not going to be able to move forward as a community, as a group of outdoorsy people who love recreating in the outdoors. We're not going to be able to continue to see these places and explore these places if we don't learn more, if we don't teach people who are new to the outdoors about how they can protect these places too.
It's the night before trail. I'm gonna try to get some sleep. I'm really nervous. Mostly thinking about my knees. 'Cause they're unpredictable. Hopefully nothing happens.
Honestly, kind of weirdly hard terrain. It's like really single tracky, really overgrown, some really loose rocks at some points. But we're trying to keep a pretty decent pace, but it's hot. It's hotter than I was anticipating when I started planning this trip. Poison oak. I'm a little bit concerned by like how slow I'm moving. I'm just gonna have to start a lot earlier in the day for those longer days. Uphills are really sucking with this on my back. I did have one conversation with somebody on trail who did stop me because of the sign on my pack, which was really cool. He was a local, lived here his whole life, and he said that he was actually there when they opened the Backbone Trail to the public, which was really, really cool. And he was impressed with what I'm doing, and you know, I gave him a sticker, and I just really hope that he's able to continue that conversation. And even if he just puts the sticker on a water bottle and maybe somebody asks about it a year from now, I hope that he's able to continue, you know, my conversation that I'm talking about right now, with just making sure that this place remains protected and remains respected more than anything.
All right, good morning. Good morning from day 2. We've got coffee and oatmeal. Oh my God, I have not talked yet today. Really the last thing I have to do is take my tent down, and then we're on trail. Let's do this. It's really nice having a flat warm up in the morning, because yesterday it was all uphill right from the get, and today it's been pretty flat. I'm a mile in, 14 to go. Just a few days ago I came out to this area. This is the Dead Horse section, to do some trail maintenance. This area was super eroded, super overgrown, and we've made it so that people can safely recreate here without leaving a lasting impact on the surrounding environment.
Recreation is one of the most important tools and pieces of the conservation preservation puzzle. We wouldn't have the appreciation for these places if we didn't carve trails, if we didn't have these ways of accessing these much further parts of the wilderness than we really just see in the front country. And I think those trails are really crucial to actually getting people to see why these places are so special and why they deserve our protection in the first place. If we didn't have that, if we just, you know, looked at them from a distance, I'm pointing over there because there are mountains behind me, it's just dark. If we just appreciated them from a distance, I don't think people would have that same connection. They wouldn't have that one-on-one, really close encounter with a chipmunk that crosses their path, or a bird that lands and tries to eat their snack, which they should not do, but it happens. And then you have this memory. Or I was telling the story earlier of the sea lions in Channel Islands National Park, in that cave that our boat decided to bring us into a cave, and there were hundreds of sea lions coming into the water in Channel Islands. And that was one of the most memorable experiences for me. And seeing that, having that really close encounter, having that interaction with nature firsthand, showed me so much about why that place is so special. And I think allowing people to have that hands-on connection is so crucial to continuing to conserve and preserve these places so that our kids can enjoy them the same way that we did.
Okay, I've made it to Hondo Canyon. Almost got hit by a car crossing Old Topanga. I am currently in a hole. The trail's like super eroded. Let me show you. I hopped down into here, and yeah, I have to somehow scale this 4-foot wall. Okay. This is probably the worst section of trail I think I've ever hiked. My feet hurt so bad. I have to get over to that road down there. The trail is either really brutal downhill or just covered in rocks and really uneven or completely eroded. And then I'm still gonna have like another 2, maybe 3 miles before I even reached camp. Oh my God. I almost just lost a trekking pole. That would have been freaking tragic. Okay, bye. So I just got onto the Payuma Ridge section of the BBT. I almost cried when I saw the sign that said Tapia Park 2 miles. And there was a picnic table. So that felt good to just take my pack off for a second. That was the absolute worst stretch of trail I think I've ever hiked in my entire life. We're at about 12 miles total today.
It's my goal, more than anything, to show how we're able to recreate responsibly through doing something as difficult as a through hike. You know, if I can hike 70 miles and not leave a permanent, lasting impact on the landscape around me, then you can hike 5 or 10 miles without leaving a permanent, lasting impact on the landscape around you. Or hike 70. It's your hike. Just pick up your trash. We're living at a time right now where we have to accept that we coexist with the natural world. Well, maybe we feel separate from nature when we're in a city. Nature's never really that far out of reach. And it's important to recognize that people and nature can and frankly need to be living in sort of a symbiotic relationship with each other. We have to take care of each other.
Good morning from my tent on a 0 day.
A 0 day is when a thru hiker decides to take a day off of hiking, but they're still on trail. Like, they're still doing their thru hike, they're still along their route, but they're taking a day off of hiking to rest, which is what I'm doing right now. I decided I'm not going to hike any miles today, so you're hiking 0 miles. But I'm still on trail. I'm still on track to finish the thru hike. It's just that I needed a day off. Something that I think is really special about these mountains and about the Santa Monica Mountains in general, but even the fact that we have state parks like Topanga and Malibu Creek here, is that we do have so much proximity to the mountains that allows for people to experience these in kind of a convenient way. I grew up with my family taking me to places like this, even just to like climb around on some rocks. Or my dad took me camping here when I was 5 years old and took me camping here again when I was about 9 years old. And so because I was able to grow up with the proximity to the mountains from the city, I was able to grow up with an appreciation for the Santa Monica Mountains and for nature in general, because if I didn't grow up this close to this, I might have a disconnect, or I might not have connected with nature at the age that I did, and it might have been something that I found way later in life. It was actually, I think it was either this site or the next site over, my dad got for me and my brother that time when I was 9 years old. I can't remember which one it was. But it's so interesting coming back, like so many years later and everything is so much smaller, but I still have that appreciation for like, wow, my history with the outdoors did kind of start right here. And especially because my parents are planning on selling their house and moving potentially out of state this year, it's kind of cool to just see it all come full circle. Kyle is the greatest support system. He is just incredible. He and I are long distance right now. Well, I'm in California for work. But even from afar, he's just the most encouraging. He's texting me every day, checking in on how I'm doing on trail. And he was the one that made me believe that I could actually do this, which is just so incredible to me because he saw my strength and he didn't want to let me not do something with it. And he's just been the most incredible support system. I'm so grateful to have him even just in my phone as much as he is. Of course, I wish he was here, but at the same time, like, there is so much reason that I'm doing this solo, and just having him as a support is just more than enough. And my family too, they're supporting me along the way. My mom brought me some food for my 0 day because I wasn't planning on having a 0 day at all. So I didn't have enough food for today, so she brought me some snacks and some noodles and stuff. And my dad is coming out to help me tomorrow because there's nowhere to camp on this next section of trail. So he'll be bringing his van out, and we will find a place nearby to just park for the night so I don't have to go very far from trail. And he'll also be bringing me some food. And I'm so grateful for the support system that I've had and just the encouragement that I've had from my loved ones. It just means the world to me. I was bullied as a child a lot. I was a kid with anxiety. I turned into a teenager with depression. Just simply because I couldn't find community where I was. And that had me retreating to books. I started seeking adventure in stories rather than out in the world. And in college, I majored in creative writing. I have a degree in creative writing, which is so opposite of what I do now. But I was always creating stories. And now I'm out here living this great adventure, not just on this trail, but in solo travel and van life and everything that's transpired since being in college and graduating college. And it still feels like I'm writing stories, even though it's kind of in a different way now. January of 2020, I met the person who I would then travel with for the next year and a half. So he and I were traveling together and made it up to Oregon after months of living in the van in quarantine, which was an adventure in and of itself. And we decided to attempt a mountain called Cooper Spur, which is essentially the side of Mount Hood. There's a little peak and then there's Mount Hood. And so we were trying to do this little peak next to Mount Hood. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever done was summiting that mountain. And on the way down, I developed a knee injury, an impact injury that I would later figure out is something called jumper's knee. All summer, I would try to heal it for 2 weeks. I would take 2 weeks off of hiking and be like, it's probably fine. attempt another mountain, be descending, and it would be some of the most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life. By the time we got to Kentucky, which was where we were going to be building out a van for us to live in together, I did all the research that I could because it was hard to see doctors living on the road, especially during 2020. And I found out that I needed to stay off trail for 6 weeks, which was absolutely devastating to me. Hiking has always been so at the core of who I am. And I think in that healing process, in that 6 weeks that I had to take off trail, I really lost a part of myself because I wasn't able to do the thing that made me feel the most whole. And as soon as I recovered, I wasn't fully recovered, but I took the 6 weeks off. I decided, okay, maybe it's time to try another trail. So I decided let's try something really easy. Let's go on just a short day hike in a nearby state park right over the state line in Indiana. And a quarter mile into that trail, I fell and hurt my back. I still suffer from back pain to this day, and it's just something that I deal with on a daily basis. But throughout all of this physical healing that I was having to do, and through the losing myself in having to take this time off of the trail, I was in this relationship that I was very quickly realizing was not a supportive environment to heal in. And that was really hard on me. I think the healing process in general, whether it's the mountains, whether it's my knees, it takes time, and it takes, stepping back and looking at the full picture. Of course, it was devastating to lose myself in healing my knee injury. But I also knew that in the long run, if I didn't do that, if I didn't take that time, it was going to be so much worse. It was going to turn into a far more chronic injury than it already was. It was already pushing 6 months at that point, and sometimes my knees still hurt, but taking that time off was crucial. And it's kind of similar when we talk about the mountains and the wildfire restoration and certain areas being closed, not necessarily along the Backbone Trail, but certain parts of, say, Malibu Creek State Park have closed in the past. Because if we keep exploring those places that are trying to bounce back, that are trying to heal, we're just going to create more damage, and we're not going to allow that place to heal itself. As of right now, I'm feeling very confident in being able to finish the trail, especially because I took a 0 day. I'm really glad that I made that decision, because I think come day 4, I would have been feeling very weak if I didn't give myself today to rest. Because a part of me is like, okay, next winter you'll try it again and actually finish it next time. But I mean, my motivation to finish at this point is I just don't want to hike yesterday's section of trail ever again. But more than anything, I feel like I know deep down that I can do this. And I want to push through, even though it is going to be so hard. I know the next days are going to be hard. And I also know that I'm capable.
Floor looking up, wanting more. This is so unreal.
My parents always made it a point to take me on adventures, whether that was going and looking at animals at the pet store or going and scrambling on rocks at Vasquez Rocks County Park, which is about 45 minutes north of here. Or we were out in here, Malibu Creek or the Santa Monica Mountains, and hiking and just exploring nature. My dad and I would make up stories and go and play pretend out in the woods. And they always made it a point to really encourage me and my brother to get outside as much as possible.
It looks like we're really cold, but it's really not that cold.
It's really not that bad. I'm not dressed like I'm that cold. I'm wearing a windbreaker. Like,
Beanies suggest cold. Some cops buzz us, but they didn't bother us. And no, it was really good. It was really warm. So I think we both slept good. My protective instincts have kicked in. I feel like I shouldn't let you go.
okay, sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah.
Be careful.
I'll be fine.
You're too bulky to hug.
Sorry. Alright. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
There was a point where I never thought that I would be putting this backpack back on and hiking with it. Because so much of me believed that I couldn't. I'm only 3 miles in to today, but tomorrow I will have walked 70 miles across the mountains I was raised in. And part of that is really hard for me to believe. Especially that I did it by myself. I can see the ocean. And I know I've been looking at the ocean like this entire time, but I can actually see the ocean. And I can see where I'm going. I can see where I'm going today. Is so hard to walk on and even harder to go downhill on. I have close to 0 gauge of how far I've gone today. Terrain's been pretty bad, so I'm honestly not sure. It could be 5 miles, it could be 3. But I'm having a hard time believing that I'm still in Los Angeles because this view is just the best thing I've seen the entire trip. I've heard myths about these parrots for my entire life, so pretty cool to see today. Not super cool that they're out here at all. They were like escaped pets, but yeah, weird kind of random experience today. I'm about halfway. Today I think I've gone about 7 miles according to that sign, which says Tri-Peaks is 6 miles. So I've got my shoes off. We're drinking water. I'm gonna chill for a little bit and then we're gonna get back on the trail. I got a text from Kyle a little bit ago that says, "You got this, you're almost there." Okay. I miss him. I really wish he was gonna be there at the finish line. That's where I came from today. Oh, you're so pissed to be good.
On the outside, looking in, I really wasn't sure what I was getting. Between the high waves on the sea, waiting for something to get to me. I wasn't sure what I was hoping for, you see. But you act like gravity and you are pulling me. 'Cause you know what I want, babe. You know everything that gets me going. You know what I want, babe. All the little things that I'm not showing. You know what I want, babe. And you know it all before I do it. You know what I want, babe. You know what I need before I show it. I saw a fire from the sea. I didn't know what it was telling me. Like Robert Zimmerman singing a song. Just gotta keep on keeping on. I really wasn't sure what I was hoping for.
Here, talk to a lot of people.
I ran out of stickers.
That's so awesome.
I met a couple. Of course, I didn't have a sticker to give them, but he was like, "Let's leave no trace." So I told him I directed them to their website, but those are exactly the type of people I want to be having these conversations with.
All the little things that I'm not showing. You know what I want, babe. And you know it all before I do it. You know what I want, babe. You know what I need before I show it. I can really sense that all the things been happening is no coincidence. 'Cause you know what I need, yeah. You know what I want, babe. And you know everything that gets me.
Because the truth is, there's evidence of people everywhere, in the mountains and within ourselves. We all carry a history, a trail, if you will. And while it might be the hardest thing you've ever done, the mountains teach us that we can overcome, that we can restore ourselves. We can keep walking.